Hi everybody, welcome to Digimon Conflict, episode 4, where we rewatch Digimon Adventures from beginning to end, and we give a kind of retrospective of it as adults going into it or new viewers going into it. This week we watched episodes 21 to 25, and this is the start of a big Myotismon arc. With me today, I have our Digimon newbie, Keja.
Hi.
I have the TCG player, Kain.
Hello.
And I have the fellow fanatic, Zeta.
Hello.
And so, yeah, we all watched all these episodes. Zeta a little more recently than the rest of us. And then Kain had a very busy Digimon week filled with that.
Oh yeah.
So
I
this
heckin'
is
love Digimon.
yeah, this is the first episode after O2 Beginning came out, so and Kain's the only one that got to watch it. So we're a little
Lucky
jealous
bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Go see it when you can. It's really good.
Oh, I can't fucking wait. So yeah, we did 5 episodes this week. So and it's gonna be pretty much 5 episodes from here on out. So lot to talk about and a lot to kind of digest going into Myotismon's arc, because last episode we left off with Tai and Agumon getting sucked into a black hole and then suddenly appearing in the middle of Japan.
Oh my god.
And this episode, episode 21, Home Away from Home, we continue with Tai and Agumon, or Tai and Koromon, being in the middle of a park in Odaiba. So, a lot of questionable things in this episode, a very dark feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fun little fact. So they return to this day, August 1st, which me, Kain, and Zeta know as Digimon Day or Odaiba Day. It's generally when
Also,
we get
my
a lot
birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, that's cool.
Let's go.
So August 1st is the day that they returned, or they got sucked into the digital world, and it's also the day that they return, showing that, like, no time has passed. But August 1st is also the day that the first episode of Digimon aired on television in Japan. So, like,
Oh, neat.
they planned that ahead of time. They're like, okay, we're gonna make it August 1st and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So all
I
leads
love
together.
that so much.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's the little small details. Yeah, so we got to meet Tai's sister Kairi for the first time, or Hikari for Japanese watchers. And somehow she knows Koromon.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't know why that's relevant at all. Yeah. Worth noting. So the first movie, and Keja hasn't watched this yet, but the first movie aired already by this point. So Japanese watchers would have known why Kairi knows Agumon. But
Yeah.
English viewers have no clue, and it's led to a lot of, like, questionable dubbing translations, because she knows about the digital world and she shouldn't, and she says she's been to the digital world. She hasn't. But
So does the movie take place around this time?
so the first movie is actually when they're way younger. Like, I want to say Kairi was like 3. I would have to look it up, but, like, it's when they are very young. It will get touched on in later episodes of this arc, that they have all seen Digimon before. They just don't remember it, and Kairi's kind of the only one that remembers it. So,
Oh.
yeah, there's an incident that happened, and the movie follows that incident.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I loved, like, that they had this entire montage of Tai. Just, is this Earth? I don't know if this is Earth.
Am I actually home? Is this a dream?
Even though in the last episode he was just straight up like, "Oh, I know this park. We're right around right around my apartment." And then he's just like straight up like, "Nope, this isn't Odaiba. This isn't Japan. Where the fuck are we?
And then he finds all the landmarks. He's like, "Oh, I know this place, and I know this place. That means home must be here." I'm like, just go home then.
Yeah, just
Right.
walk home. What are we doing?
Go home, forehead.
Honestly. Yeah. And we get followed by like a lot of sequences of just him kind of listing around. And like this entire episode is just really framed very darkly. Like they make the contrast between the real world and the digi world very obvious and feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like even just like down to like the color choices they choose. Like everything's so like drowned out and like monochrome as opposed to how colorful and like just how all over the place
Yeah.
the digital world is.
Yeah.
That's one thing I liked is that this episode literally, when I looked at it from the first time and after I watched the movie, it's like, damn, they actually linked the exact same animation style to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, fun fact. This episode is actually directed by Hosoda Mamoru, who is the one who directed our war game, as well as Summer Wars, Wolf Children, and I believe even Bell, if I'm correct.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, I heard Wolf Children. I was like, ooh.
yeah. So like he has not directed anything else other than I think maybe a couple episodes and that movie in relating to Digimon. So all the darker tones on it are very much more his style. Like as Kain and Zeta have watched the our war game movie, they would kind of recognize that style as well.
Yeah.
We'll get Keja there
Honestly,
eventually.
I
That
love
makes
this fucking
sense.
animation style so much. Everything's so
Yeah.
much more emotive.
It is. There's a whole moment where Ty gets a call from Izzy type thing on his computer where Izzy's telling him to stay where he is. He does look kind of stoned.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
a little out of it.
Which, like, you find out why in the other episodes, but, like,
Bro,
it was
they'll
kind of
come
weird.
back, Ty.
Yeah.
We got the good shit, man. We ain't sharing.
Not too far off from what he's doing in his little.
Yeah, he was really going
Yeah,
through.
that was something.
We also have another instance of where poop is just not allowed at all in this series because Koromon eats a bunch of the eggs and then just immediately has to poop.
Goes to the bathroom
and they just don't acknowledge it.
See, that's the thing. I always thought that it was just Koromon farting, and then he had to use the restroom. I did not know that he literally just laid a pile there.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, and so in the original Japanese version, the entire conversation where Kairi's having with him on the toilet as well, she's detailing a very vivid experience of where she peed her pants and how Ty had to help clean it up for her so he doesn't feel as bad. Cut from the dub completely. Because people don't poop or pee. That's not allowed. Digimon definitely don't as well.
I mean, the Digimon was literally sitting on the toilet, so
I don't know how they skirted around it that hard.
I want to say that did the game come out around this time or no?
Which game came out?
The Digimon Adventures game or Digimon World?
Digimon World.
Digimon World should have already been out by now, yeah.
So I wanted to, I'm thinking they might have referenced Digimon World in that because every time a Digimon goes to the bathroom there, it does cut out.
Digimon World came out in January of
What?
1999.
That's in the new game.
Yeah, I was gonna say they show it.
They show them. I remember now.
Yeah, Digimon World, like you see the little piles of poo that you have to deal with.
Clean up.
I forgot that's only in the newer games that they fucking censor it.
Yeah, that's right. In World Order or whatever.
Yeah, Next Order.
Oh, I haven't even played that. That's
Next Order is fun. I will not kid you. It is actually fun as hell.
Can we get the developers of these games the Everybody Poops book?
Yes.
Read, please.
Please.
That's fine.
Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It's like we already know everybody has to use the restroom. There's no point of like doing that. You don't have to be extremely detailed with it, but you know, you had no problem with fucking Numamon or Sukamon throwing like pink piles of goo at the kids earlier.
Yeah, but they still call it goo. They don't call it poop.
They call it sludge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but we
bull-
all know what that actually is.
That
Yeah.
ain't sludge.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know if me as a kid knew what that was. I don't remember.
100%. Like, hey,
Yeah.
that's crap.
I think I was just a dumb little kid because I don't know if I made that connection or not. Like as an adult, I'm like, yeah, obviously. If I'm trying to
think
get
when I
back in like
first saw-
Kimi. Mhm.
I think when I first saw Numemon throwing it, I didn't take it into consideration, but then I saw Sukamon and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, something's
The
off
abacus
here.
is clacking.
Yeah, and then I played Digimon World, and then and I'm like, wait a minute,
I think
he just took a
actually
shit on the ground.
I think when I would have made the connection is it's a little later in the series, but a certain Digimon poops in a car.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the first time I think we see it, an obvious Digimon pooping and then the pile of sludge. And I think that might have been where I made the connection.
Oh
Because-
my god.
Because otherwise we either see them pooping and we don't see the sludge, or we just see the sludge. I think that's the first time in the series that it'll actually show both correlated.
Yeah.
So I may be wrong. Again, I don't remember 20 years ago. So I would love to remember
Dude.
20 years ago, but I don't.
That's a move.
You and me both.
Yeah. Ma'am, you were like 20 years ago. What do you mean?
I was keeping my mouth shut. I was like, I need to. Alright.
So yeah, the rest of this episode, Ty starts seeing Digimon kind of appearing on the news, like they're talking about natural disasters happening, and then he's seeing the Digimon that are causing these natural disasters, but the newscasters aren't addressing it. And then he figures out that Kairi can also see the Digimon in the newscast, but nobody else notices it. And he goes out trying to find them because one appears outside the house or the apartment, and he wants to get back to the digital world. Kairi ends up following him out, and they end up finding Ogremon in a very intense stare down at a traffic light. They have the whole little battle, and then the Agumon gets sucked back up, and he's like, I'll just go on without you because you belong here. And Tai wants to leave, and Kairi has a little like heartwarming scene where she doesn't want him to go without her.
Mhm.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
So sad.
Like 3 things. First off, I love Kairi in this entire episode. I would fucking hug her to death and protect her with my life.
Mhm.
Secondly, I love how hard the fights go in this episode.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so good. It's our
the
first time seeing.
animation is so good.
Yeah, it's the first time also seeing like a fight in a more realistic setting too.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing it in the real world as opposed to like magical trees of various colors and beaches that don't actually exist.
Random technology just shoved into the ground.
Yeah, so we're seeing like the cement damage, the building damage, and like people running and screaming as well. Like that adds a
Yeah.
lot to a very good fight scene to see the overall damage being done.
And that's the last thing too. This is one thing I love about Digimon so much is that the stuff that happens in one side of the world does affect the other one. I
Mhm.
love that they keep that trend going through so many of the series.
Yeah. Because
It's like it's not just one world in danger. It's literally both worlds in danger.
yeah. And I think that gets addressed later on where they mention that how they're overlapped.
Mhm.
I think in the Izzy episode.
Original
Yeah.
overlapping.
Yeah. But it's also
Well, I think
kind
they
of
mentioned that kind of briefly, like a while back.
yeah.
but,
Yeah,
like,
they did.
The impact isn't there until kind of like this episode.
Yeah, because you finally get to actually see it. Because before it was just Izzy pulling up the map of the two worlds overlapping, and it was kind of more of a theory he was pulling together. Whereas here, like,
Right.
oh, these are overlapping, and Izzy can reach him through the computer somehow. So there
Now,
is like some consistency between the two.
the other
Mhm.
question I had here is, this is something that's been bugging me for a long time. Do the Digimon that just briefly appear in the world have sentience? Because they look mindless when they're in there.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I don't know if that's addressed or not.
I don't think they ever addressed this in any of the series, but every time I've seen this episode and a few other, I think, instances where
It does. It happens
creep
again.
over.
So
Yeah, they just look like they're mindless drones attacking.
It also kind of begs to question: are they actually like they could be in the real world and not necessarily seeing the real world? They could be in the digital world, and they're whatever they're doing in the digital world is also affecting the real world. Because then you
Mhm.
question like,
So they're
'cause-
just doing their normal everyday things, and then
yeah,
it happens to disturb the real world.
yeah. The only thing
Yeah.
that puts a problem in that would be the fact that Ogremon attacks Tai and Agumon.
Yeah.
Like he seems to be
Yeah.
reacting because everything else doesn't seem to really react to anything around it. They're just kind of mindlessly doing something, and then there's an effect. Ogremon attacking Agumon kind
And
of
waiting for
ruins
the
that.
stoplight as well.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the thing that
That
got
was
me.
nice of him at least.
right? To not bother any of the people
jaywalking.
right in front of him either. Like he's just like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
jump over you guys. That's fine.
I can wait this light. It's all right.
Though, I actually thinking about it, that could still hold it because he attacked Agumon, maybe not necessarily Tai. Maybe he can see the
Mhm.
other Digimon, but he can't see the humans.
Oh.
That would make sense, yeah.
Or I guess it's Koromon. He wasn't Agumon yet. So
No, that would actually make sense. Like a lot of humans can't see Digimon, so the Digimon can't see a lot of the humans.
yeah,
That would
there
make
could
more
be
sense.
something there to that theory. I guess we'll see if there is actually something there because I don't remember there being something there, but I do
Actually,
remember something like this happening again.
You might be onto something there. That might be why their eyes are lifeless, because they aren't getting a full view of the world that they're in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible.
Mhm.
Granted, this
I
could
like
also
that. That's a good explanation.
yeah, good theory. We'll see if it has any like weight to it later on.
Hmm.
Though I don't think this happens again until O2, so I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so it's gonna be a while before we get answers to that, and there's a chance we might forget about this theory by then too.
probably.
Just,
Oh, I
just mark it
probably
down in a
will.
pinned message someplace. Like,
Yeah,
this
right.
was
Write that down.
scary anyway.
Write that down right now.
Just
It'll
read
probably, if we get to it, it'll
Mhm.
probably jot my memory and I'll bring it up again.
maybe
Yeah.
put a sticky note in my notepad or something.
Yeah.
All right. Any other notes on this episode? We can go on to the
I
next.
had so many notes about
Okay,
this episode.
Go for it.
Some
Go
say
for
to
it.
leave Kari alone.
So that's actually I have an answer for that. I didn't write it down, but I do have an answer because I watched this episode in Japanese.
I did write it down, yeah. Oh, wait, what?
Because I remember you mentioning something so I watched the Japanese
Yeah.
episode. Her being left alone while mom and dad go visit grandparents is very much just a dub thing. That is only a dub thing. So she is there by herself, and her mom does call to like check on her, but it's not clearly stated, I don't think, where her mom is. Like the whole
So
they
she could just be at work.
Could be at work, could be out shopping or something. But
Mhm.
because Ty thought his parents were there, and the marks on the calendar are for the camp, not for her going to visit the grandparents. So
Oh.
that is like when he makes that whole comment, that is very much just a dub thing. That is not in the original sub at all. She's just there. She's taking care of herself while she's there. Even like the little thing of she takes one bite of food and then it's like, y'all can have the rest of it. I'm full. That's not done in the sub either. She just eats and they just don't show her eating it again. Like, but she does presumably eat her food. So
that's really
That's
weird.
a really weird change.
Yeah.
Just more of the dubbing issues with the fucking series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thing because they don't really have all the context either. But that was, I don't know why they were like, yeah, she's gonna go visit the grandparents kind of thing for no
While we
reason.
leave our like sickly daughter at home by
Yeah.
herself.
I had so many notes about that where I'm like, wow, they just left their sick child alone for like a week while they go visit the grandparents.
Right.
All right, that's
Um,
cool.
What is also not addressed in the dub is Kyrie was also supposed to be at camp with Ty. She didn't go because she was sick. So, presumably, mom went to drop off Ty at camp and was planning to go do something, but Kyrie got sick, so she still had to go do the thing out, whether it was grocery shopping or whatever. But she probably went and did that after she already dropped off Ty, because this is the same day he arrived at camp, basically. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's explained.
Yeah. So another note that I had, which was completely a dubbing thing, which I made a comment when it came up in the episode, but Ty makes a comment right at the beginning where he's like, if we're in the real world, maybe the others are in the real world too. And if they are, we should go hook up with them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, huh?
I
don't think you know how that term is used.
Yeah, nowadays at least.
Yeah, obviously that's not necessarily the case back then, but like,
yeah, I don't. God, do I remember slang from 2000 or 2000? I guess. I don't think I remember. Was that a term in 2000 or 1999?
I don't know. Why
know.
is hook up with them even like a? Is that? I don't know. Is that what people used to say to go meet up with their friends?
I mean, I will use it to say I'm meeting up with friends now, but I will use it in both contexts of like, oh, so and so are hooking up, but also like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hook up with them later, as like I'm gonna meet up with them as somewhere at a location or something.
Yeah.
So it can be used in both contexts. I just don't know if the other implied context was
what
common
existed
thing
back then. Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's fair.
I love that he just calls everybody and he's just like, yeah, oh, they're at camp? Yeah, that checks out. Never mind.
Yeah, don't wonder why I'm calling about it. Don't worry about it.
Right.
It's fine.
What was the other thing?
The other thing was like I found Kyrie kind of like weird in the way she was portrayed like in the dub until like the very end, because it's like she almost feels lifeless, like not real.
So
until like she meets up with Ty at the end and is like, "Don't leave, please."
So she's even more like that in the subtitle. She's very listless. She's very like kind of mysterious in a way, and that is kind of her character. That only really kind of changes in O2, but when you get into Try, she pulls more into that again. Which I don't know if that's a dub thing or not for O2, because I never watched O2 in dub or in subtitles. So I have no foreground, because when we get into that territory, watching subtitles can be completely new ground for me.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's kind of her thing. She's also just, I think, noted as being generally very frail and very sickly. So her being sick now is not an uncommon thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was the other thing, is I was like, she's probably kind of strange and like drawn back because she is sick as well, but it was just very like disconcerting because she didn't feel real. So I wondered, like, obviously we've discussed this now, but I was like, is this world even actually real, or is it like just like a replica of the real world?
Right. No, that's just kind of her character. She does get more fleshed out later on, because obviously she's going to show up again. They did show that she has a digivice in the apartment now. So she will get a little bit more character, but this is just kind of how her character is.
Right.
Which, her having a digivice lines up with the fact that she was supposed to be at camp, so that probably popped up for her just like it did everybody else. She just didn't get teleported. Thankfully, because she would have got teleported all by herself.
Oh no.
Any other questions, concerns, problems?
I think that's all I had.
I'm always concerned.
Valid, honestly. So episode 22, Forget About It. This is the episode where we kind of catch up to Ty going back to the digital world. He finds out the entire party basically split up, and he has to go find everybody because a lot more time has passed in the digital world than the real world. In the subtitle, it is actually stated that it has been 6 weeks in the digital world, in that short amount of time he's been in the real world. It's not really addressed in the dub. So he's been gone for 6 weeks. Everybody else is gone. And they find Tokomon. I almost called him Patamon. But Tokomon with TK's crest and Digivice. And they kind of get the story from Tokomon of how Matt left TK after Sora disappeared and the rest of the party disappeared. And TK found Digimon and a lot of very childish drama happened. Very childish.
It was all over the place.
Yep. My first note is we looked high and low. I did most of the low part as Tokomon's line about and my second line is Sora's a dumbass.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just love like Pokemon's narrating of what happened. I was like, oh, it's so cute.
His little voice.
Yeah, and like the way he describes everything that happened is obviously like it's very different to the way things are usually narrated.
Yeah.
So it's kind of refreshing in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently Sora was the first one to leave the group because they were all looking for Ty. We have no reason as why Sora left in the middle of the night whatsoever. And after Sora left, everybody else kind of started splitting off and going on their own ways to do things. We do get some explanation later in the subtitle on why certain people left. Not necessarily on all of them, but you can kind of go from there. Matt leaves TK at an amusement park, tells him to amuse himself at the amusement park. And yeah, Digimon just shows up. Digimon's attack, Darts is edited out. By the way, they decided not to show the actual attack.
No.
Probably because his attack looks like little syringes, maybe. Like
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and in the entire fight at the end, because there's like a fight between Patamon and Digimon, and just it's a lot of headbutting. So until Patamon starts like blowing air bubbles at him.
Boom ball, up you go, down you come.
Patamon kicked some fucking ass in that fight, though.
Bravo.
Look, it was
yeah, but originally he was getting his ass beat.
Yeah,
he's been Tokomon for fucking how long?
I know.
Yeah,
he needed some goddamn screen time.
I don't really know exactly at what point I put this here. I think it's when Digimon is talking to TK about why Matt left, and like Matt saying he doesn't want to be his brother anymore or something. I have TK trauma +1. Make that +2. Never mind. So I think it's him being like Matt leaving him alone, and then added trauma from Digimon. Like, yeah, he hates you and you cry too much.
Yeah, I can see it.
Very quick to believe that too.
Yes, but he is 6. Or
he's
like,
a kid.
He's a baby. So
he's a baby.
He's trying. Like when you're 6, you kind of do believe everything that
yeah.
you're told, so
without
let's
any proof.
totally believe
Yeah.
the flying furball with a blue mask on his face and looks like it's Satan's little helper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that they all acknowledge that he does not look like a good guy.
Oh yeah.
It should have
Like
been
one of the
But they
first
still believe
times.
him.
Devimon in his name.
I know.
One of the first times that they're like, okay, maybe this one isn't a good guy.
Let's trust it. It's fine.
Yeah, let's not trust this guy.
So Demi Devimon takes TK around the amusement park and tries to get him to cheer up, and TK can't forget about Tokomon, is all worried about it. So Demi Devimon tries to give them mushrooms to make him forget. And he
I
only
hated
finds these stupid fucking what are they? From the Edamon's minions.
Oh, the Gazimon?
Yeah, the Gazimon start eating them and they just kind of are lost in the sauce
Yeah.
of the mushrooms. They find out that they're memory wiping mushrooms because Sora decides to be an edgy little bitch and tell Agumon that they're poisonous without actually telling. Yeah. In the subtitle, Agumon does not recognize Sora's voice and just thinks it's his inner monologue, by the way. He just thinks it's the mysterious voice and it does not click it in his head.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
But yeah, for some reason Sora disappeared and is just stalking everybody at the moment because I'm sure
acting like an
has...
actual god.
I'm sure she has a reason. I'm sure she has a very valid reason. It's gonna be
She's
great.
just got a god complex. She just wants them to know she's helping them, but not actually be a physical being that that is with them.
Yeah. This is also we learn Devimon. We learned during the watching of that Pico Devimon or Demi Devimon is voiced by Derek Prince, who does a lot of voices for Digimon, including in the next episode, but mostly like Entmon and Vmon in later series. So like, kind of a big Digimon deal.
I just hate that he sounds like Stitch. But anyway, that's in the next episode.
He sounds like Stitch, but he's not even Stitch.
He's not even Stitch!
Oh my god, is there anything else in this episode? I don't remember.
I had
Gazimon eating mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I like that they do the little paw up thing, like the little lucky cats. They just have one paw up and they're just sitting there like, who are you? I don't know, who am I?
Who's Edamon?
Who are you? Who am I?
They're so cute. I love them.
When they don't have evil intentions, they're adorable.
They're just great little minions. That's all. They just follow whoever's strongest.
There was one question I had at the beginning, which continues. Since when can they track each other's digivices?
Evolving powers.
You know, I don't fucking know.
Ty just comes back and he's like, yes, I know where I can trick people now.
So,
I mean, here's the other question. How the fuck did freaking Izzy and his super high state figure out, hey, I can communicate the Ty through the digivice all the way across the dimensional gap?
So the Ty thing, or the tracking thing at least, when it's first shown in the dub, he kind of like, oh, this got to be somebody that I'm following. In the subtitled, it starts beeping at him, and he's like, well, I don't know where else to go, so I might as well follow the dot, kind of thing.
See, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what this could be, but I'll follow it.
Yeah, so he doesn't automatically click, it must be somebody else. But I think from the context clues of like, oh, he found TK's digivice. After that, it's just like, oh, these are tracking things. Cool. So,
right.
But yeah, that's a slight dubism. So, knowing things you
Of
shouldn't know
course.
yet.
Love it.
Yep. Gotta love Fox Kids for that one.
Thanks, Saban.
Mm-hmm. I also have noted we're working on the crying thing. Patamon telling TK it's fine, you're still a crybaby, we're working on it.
We're working
It's
on
so
it.
cute, though.
Their interactions
I
are
love
great.
them.
Man, the whole like rivalry between Matt and Ty, it kind of plays into next episode as well because like, we do get a little bit more of that backstory on there. But I don't remember if it's at the end of this episode or at the beginning of the next one, where in the sub, like TK's constant, like Matt's focused on trying to find the others, and TK's very, we gotta find Ty, and Matt being kind of like the tsundere type is like, why is it gotta be Ty? We gotta find everybody, not just Ty. We gotta find everybody.
Mhm.
So, you know.
That just reminds me of in that episode when TK was having a meltdown. He's like, "Hi, can you be my new brother? Can you be my brother?"
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh no,
It's just like, it doesn't quite work that way.
it doesn't
But-
quite work that way."
I'll look after you until we find them. Just chill.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess we can move on into the next episode, 23, Where Garumon's Diner, where where is and Garurumon are two different words
God.
that make no sense at all. So in this we kind of skip over to Matt, who has found Joe, who is working at a diner to pay off a tab because he tried to pay the tab with digidollars that he somehow magically owns, and this diner only takes American dollars.
Yep.
Which it in the sub, it does only take USD. Joe tries to pay in yen, and Digitamamon is just like, no, we only take USD here. I don't know why they decided, like, hey, yeah, we're gonna pretend the yen doesn't exist, and he has magical digidollars that don't exist.
My Digibucks.
Why the U.S. currency? Like in both versions, it's U.S. currency. Why?
I believe like all the signage in the original is still all in English. So I think they're just kind of highlighting that, oh, this is the American diner kind of thing. I could be wrong on that one. I think I remember seeing that. So
it would make sense.
So yeah, Joe's stuck there. Joe keeps having accidents and keeps racking up his bill to have to stay there longer. Matt tries to help him pay off his bill faster. Joe keeps fucking up. And Matt's getting frustrated because he's left TK by himself, but he wants to make sure Joe's also safe because he's trying to be a good friend. And it ends up getting to a boiling point where TK and Ty do end up showing up, but they find out that they've kind of been faking most of the accidents to keep them there on Demi Devimon's request. And we get to see one of my favorite evolutions in this entire series, which is Garurumon's evolution. Also, again, another Sora what the fuck moment. So,
yep.
Yeah. She's just
and she just
lurking.
lurking.
Ninja girl over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea what she's doing.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. She knows that all this shit's going on with Devimon. She doesn't fucking lift a goddamn finger to say, hey, you're being played, buddy, or fight the Digimon in any way. What the fuck's wrong with you? Grab you by the throat and shake you.
Why would she be useful when she can just be an edgelord and hang around in the shadows and be like, look, I really cared about y'all. I helped y'all out so much. You know that one brick that thing moved out? And oh, you don't know about that because you didn't know about it because I put it back? Right. Never mind.
And she split off to look for Ty. Why is she doubling back to try and help these guys all of a sudden?
She didn't split off to help
Mhm.
Ty. I can guarantee that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Joe, however, does give a reason for why he split off in the sub. So Joe is the second one that left after Sora left. He went to go look for food, which is why he ended up showing up at the diner. He was going to find food for the group, and he had intended to come back immediately, and then he got stuck with this bill. So
That's fair.
Oh.
he was
That makes
trying to do
sense.
something responsible. He went off
Yeah.
to like go do something to help the group because it was hard for them. I guess they said something about being hungry or something. Who would have knows? But yeah, he was just trying to be the responsible older kid, look after the others, and he got kind of stuck with this bullshit. So he has a good reason for why he split off.
Yeah.
Unlike certain people. So. And then he had also told the others he was leaving for food and he was going to meet up with them again. So he just
And then they all just say "fuck you" and walk off into the sunset.
Continue walking, yeah.
All right, time to split up now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they kind of dance around that fact a bit. Yeah, I for Weregarumon's evolution, I just put furry wolf daddy. So
Oh my
I
god.
mean, you were not wrong.
yeah,
He's so cool.
he is so cool.
He is cool, but still.
You look at his form, and then you look at Digitamiamon, and they're the same fucking level, except
Yeah.
one actually looks cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what the fuck was with the freaking Digitamiamon's accent?
Man.
Yeah, why do you sound like that?
Oh no.
He sounded like he was trying to be Transylvanian, but then another completely different thing at the same time.
Wasn't that literally the thing that I was like, he's just Stitch?
Yeah, you're the one that was saying there is a certain reference they're trying to make of a specific character, and I don't remember who it is because it's a movie I've never watched. But I think it's from Count of Monte Cristo. Oh my god. But it's a character from there, if I remember correctly. It has been a while.
Every
But,
time I heard him, he sounded like Igor.
yeah.
It reminds me of an old Yu-Gi-Oh card design, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
You know,
that
the
card.
exact one, yeah.
Yep.
It's an old one.
This is also Derek Prince, who did Demi Devamon, but he also does Frieza, he was the original Frieza for the DBZ watchers out there.
We went down an entire spiral of trying to figure out who this man was.
Yeah.
Wait. Digitamiamon and Frieza are the same VA?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. Give me back Frieza, man. Be Frieza.
Yeah, no, because Keja had made the comment about, like, oh, this sounds like Stitch. And I was like, is this Stitch? So I Googled him and I'm like, oh, he's Frieza.
No, he's a bunch of other people.
And he's Impmon. And
he
he's
was some
Vmon.
rando in the Lilo and Stitch movie.
Yeah, he was a rando cousin, but he wasn't, like, Stitch himself.
I found the
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, it's like, Derek's done a decent amount of work for Digimon.
Oh, that's
Like,
not even the one I was thinking of.
no, I was thinking of the dinosaur-looking one, right?
Yeah,
He has the dino
yeah.
legs.
Here, let me,
Oh. The Miracle Jurassic Egg?
boom.
Oh,
You're-
Rioran!
Y'all are
Yeah,
gonna make me have to
right.
edit these into the fucking episode.
Cyan's like, stop it!
Stop making me more work.
Oh no, we're making you bring in JPEGs.
Oh my god. I already had to do it last episode when I had to go search Kane's Twitter for his Digimon art. Because I was like,
Oh,
Kane's
yeah.
probably asleep, so I can't like DM
Yeah.
him to send me some, so I'm like scrolling. Like,
Shit.
like found two of them. I'm like, okay, these work.
These work perfect.
Had to scroll
enough.
through a lot of not safe for work there, man.
Yeah, it happens.
Hey, but you gotta admit they're chef's kiss.
Oh yeah. Great art. I was just like unhiding things. I'm like, okay, nope, not using that.
That's
Not
not
that
it.
one.
I'm gonna be demonetized.
That's not YouTube friendly.
Also, I love the fact that we get Where Garurumon when fucking Joe's the one being beat down this entire
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get fucking Kakumon's ultimate stage. What the fuck?
Nope.
Nah, who cares?
Yeah.
Orgarumon's badass.
I agree. We needed that Wergurumon. And we got
Joe, who's
Wergurumon.
Joe?
We got Wergurumon to the best English dub song of all time that we're
Yeah.
totally not gonna
Like,
hear
that
ever
was
again.
I wasn't expecting that song to play. It's like, wait a minute. Am I
Me-
watching
We
a
were
sub
just
series?
cracking up laughing.
me and Kain had the same reaction. Like, we didn't remember this being in the show. We thought it was
I
just
thought it
in
was
the
just
movie.
the movie. They played it so much in just these like 5
They
episodes.
do.
Too.
So
I'm happy about it, honestly. I'm so tired of the other song
Yeah.
that they were using.
I looked it up,
Yeah.
and this is the basically the battle theme that replaces Braveheart for the rest of the
Ooh.
series. So
It doesn't sound like a battle
It's
theme.
so jarring.
because
It's so upbeat and happy.
yeah, before
I'm
this
gonna
they used
kick
this
your ass.
they used this orchestra type music for the battle scenes, and they kind of, I guess, did away with that because they're like, oh yeah, we need something a little more like kid packful or something. I don't know. And hey Digimon,
The
hey
full version
Digimon.
of the song is so campy too.
It's lovely. I was just like, I don't remember this being in the series at all. Not even a little bit, but
I thought it was just an O2 in the movie, honestly.
I 100% thought it was just movie. I didn't even think it was O2.
Yeah, O2 has it in a couple places.
Oh god. I do love it. Don't get me wrong.
It's
But-
a great song.
It
though.
was really jarring to hear it again.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe song, but yeah, it's not like, oh wow, they're fighting. This is definitely the song I'm listening to instead
Yeah,
of like,
this is the fight.
Okay, actually, this is slightly off topic, but we are going to get to a point where we're going to watch the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 3-part movie. Now the question is, when we make Keja watch it, do we make her watch the new dub, or do we make her watch the old dub with that soundtrack?
Oh, there
Old
is a
dub.
new dub. I
There's
forgot.
a new dub that keeps the original soundtrack, but there's the old dub that has the very iconic soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna say the old dub.
yeah. I think we do the old dub.
Alright.
Keep it.
I love
keep it
that I'm being
natural.
dubbed in for this without my consent.
Yep.
There is no escape. You're in here for the long haul.
Exactly. Fine. The
Just see
soundtrack
Keja getting dragged off by the 3 Digimon fanatics.
the soundtrack for the original Digimon movie is
It's
basically
a trip.
it's early 2000s pop music, and it's
You like
popular
ska
pop
music.
songs. Like, oh god, what's the Shrek song?
Oh,
Smash Mouth?
Smash Mouth, yeah,
All-Star?
All Star. That song, there are people that either know it from Shrek or there are people that know it from Digimon.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, top secret.
It was in Digimon before it was in Shrek.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Why?
Like Shrek's the one that made it super popular. Digimon beat him to it.
I remember watching
I
Shrek for
hate
the
it.
first time and being like, "This is the Digimon
That's
song."
a song from Digimon.
Yeah. That's the level of music we're going to have for the soundtrack for that movie.
Oh
So,
no.
That's what you're looking forward to. So,
Oh yeah.
mhm. But any other notes on where Garurumon's diner other than Garurumon being a fucking beast?
He's so cool.
I just don't see why Joe needed to fucking stay. Like, I get it, you're wanting to pay off your thing, but like your friends needing to know where you're at's the more responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
literally Mr. Responsibility. What the fuck are you thinking?
What's he gonna do? Make you pay?
Exactly. What can he do? If he picks a fight with you, you just curb stomp his
What's he
ass.
gonna
All
do?
there
Call
is to
the
it.
call the Digi cops? What?
Oh my god. No.
It's like I get it, man. You want to be the nice guy, but you got to let your friends know because they all that for all they know, you died.
I will add
Yeah.
this. There is a thing that got edited out in the dub, and I'm very glad it got edited out in the dub. And this is the first thing where it was an improvement. So there's the scene where Matt's having the big internal turmoil, or the inner turmoil. Oh my god, I can English today, I promise. About like, oh, because he has to attack Vegemon, but if he attacks Vegemon, he might hit Joe. Joe's like, no, go ahead, don't worry about me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the test of friendship, which is his crest and all that.
Yeah.
In the sub, when the crest first lights up and the evolution starts, Matt just screams out friendship. Friendship. And the evolution starts. And yeah, that's not in the dub, and I'm very happy it's not, because that was corny as shit when I watched it. I was like, I don't remember this. I'm glad I don't remember this, because
Matt wins with the power of friendship.
Yep.
It's fairy tale all over again.
Mm-hmm. I do like that all of these evolutions, at least these next levels, it is very much a test of the Digidestined kind of playing into their crest. Instead of just like, oh yeah, they just have more power now. It's very dependent on them being in a situation to call for it, which I guess kind of makes sense why Yukakumon didn't evolve yet, because while Joe is kind of being reliable, he hasn't had that big test yet, so we'll get there.
And that explains why Mimi's one didn't happen either.
Yeah. So, we get there.
We do get there.
Any more notes?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Episode 24, No Questions Please. This is the episode I forgot fucking existed.
So trippy.
Yeah, this one was a weird one.
Yeah, so the 4 that have gathered split up to go look for the remaining members, which is Izzy, Sora, and Mimi. They get kind of split on a path where the Digivice is pointing them in 2 different directions, so they split into pairs to go find one or the other. This episode is where they run into Izzy, who Demi Devamon placed some signs to definitely not poop being attacked at them, or poop pitfalls, or poop rainfall. It's all sludge. Definitely sludge, not poop. But then they fall into a hole and are abducted by an alien creature, and he gets his curiosity taken, and he becomes a complete stoner, and spells out the alphabet, basically. This episode was a fucking trip.
Yup.
My first note on here is, I guess in reference to them like looking at the sign, and I think Tintamon says, "Look, a sign," and Izzy's response is, "You mean from above?" And the next response is, "No, in the ground."
I want to add real quick. So I've been looking at the wiki to get like my little reminders for the episodes. This is the shortest fucking synopsis of all the episodes so far.
I have the most notes for this episode of all the 5 we watched, because I am so confused.
This is
Me
really
too.
short.
I was so confused, because I legitimately do not remember this episode at all. The only thing that jogged a memory was when he started spelling the alphabet, but I thought that was a scene from much later in a different episode. I did not realize this was now.
Yeah.
I just love
reason
it
I
so
remember
much.
this one is because Vadamon.
I thought that was later. So yeah, Vadamon, Vadamon, taken from Invader.
Yeah.
I just heard Vetamon and I was like, that's Vader?
Yep. Nah, Invader, he's an alien.
Makes sense.
Yep. That's why his attack is unidentified flying kiss.
I kind of blocked out everything to do with Betamon, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that thing looks
That
freaky. I was not a
I
fan.
hated him so much. He's just like
funny
this femme
thing-
little like gay alien, and I'm like, I'm just gonna move on.
I
The
love that
funny
he.
thing is he's got the same VA as Armadillomon.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
I love that when he starts walking away, he just wiggles away.
He's flaunting it.
He's just a
does.
sassy gay alien.
I hate it so much.
Oh my god. So sub-related changes. Vetamon sells hearts, not curiosities. So he's stealing. He takes Izzy's curious heart. The blob next to it, he makes a comment about it being an ignorant heart. And Demi Devamon is not offering him curiosity. Do any of y'all want to take a guess on what he offers Vetamon for the crest?
No, I'm very concerned.
Think about
I
the
can't-
scene of when he's trying to force out the curiosity for Vetamon.
It's poop.
Yep.
He's literally like,
He wants to offer Vetamon
yeah, that's right.
a gigantic amount of poop.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad I did not watch the sub for this one then. Jesus
What
Christ.
the fuck is going on?
he's literally like sitting there trying to push it out. I'm like,
I
what
will
is
pay you
happening?
in shit.
Yep.
What is going on?
I hate it. I hate it so much. That has got to be the. That is the only time I will accept the dub being better than the sub for that one.
They really like making their poop jokes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a lot of poop jokes. A lot more poop jokes than I remembered.
I watched that and I rewound it because I was like, I did not read that right. And I was like, no, actually, never mind. Okay.
I wish I didn't read that.
I do. Oh my god. So yeah, Izzy's stuck in space and is reading a book given to him by Vadermon, however you want to pronounce it. I don't remember what the book was in the Japanese because I got so distracted by Demi Devamon trying to take a shit. But for some reason, Izzy just starts spelling out the alphabet with his body in this little void that he is stuck in. And he does it multiple times, and I guess it kind of makes more sense to a Japanese audience because they don't use the English alphabet, so it would seem more weird. But even still, I'm just like, I don't need to see this little boy contorted in these different directions. What is going on?
I want what they were having when they were making this episode.
It was the most amusing thing to me. I was sitting there laughing my ass off.
Oh my god. Also, Pabemon talks and says his name, which is not subtitled because baby Digimon do not speak. It's covered before. I don't know why they decided to do this. I think at this point, Pokemon was airing now. Because I know, because Digimon, I believe, in America started airing in May. I'm not gonna look up the dates, but I do remember it started at the end of the school year, and then Pokemon had started at the beginning of the next school year. So 24 episodes in, 24 weeks in, Pokemon would have already started. So I don't know if, like, maybe that would have influenced this at all, even though it's different studios. But I don't know why they decided, like, previous baby Digimon, they're gonna make him talk, and in this episode, they're like, nah, he just says his name. And I'm like, neither of these are accurate. It's still all wrong, so whatever. Izzy gets his curiosity back. Makes more sense in the dub, or in the subtitle, not dub. Because he originally gets rid of his curious heart by saying I don't want to know. So when he's holding it up to his head in the subtitle, he's saying I want to know, I want to know. So it's just the opposite. Instead of him just holding it, I come back into my heart, corny shit or whatever they just did.
It makes sense why he puts it in
God.
his chest now, actually.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense now. I was like, why is he putting his curiosity in his chest? What's happening here?
That was like some kind of Kingdom Hearts bullshit where it's like, I just put it back in here and it'll go up to my head.
Pabumon being a fucking gremlin and just like, he's like, yeah, we need to sneak around and get these crests for them while they're arguing. And then Pabumon's like, nah, yeet in here, yeet out, bye. And then he gets his full evolution and we get to see Atler Kabuterimon. I forgot the dub name.
Mega
Kabuterimon. Thank you. Yeah. I was like,
I hated it.
Of course you did.
Look, the only part of that entire sequence I hated was when he's going to save Izzy. It just looks like he ate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very underwhelming for me. Oh, that's the ultimate form? It's
He's just a bigger
red.
bug.
He's just a bigger beetle.
He's just a bigger red bug.
Wait until you see his mega.
Yep. Wait, if we get to try. Wait till you see that.
I hope you like bugs.
Yep.
I don't like bugs.
There's definitely a theme. They definitely. You got to give credit where credit's due, because not all Digimon keep in with a cohesive theme with their primary evolutions. So when you have
a giant mech,
you have a dinosaur going into dinosaur, a dog thing going into a dog thing, a bug going into a bigger bug, and then you have a bat going into an angel. So
But later on, the other one that turns into something that doesn't belong.
That one's gonna be fun. I think
that'll be really funny when we get there.
I think that's in our next batch. I think that's in our next batch of episodes, by the way.
Oh, really?
I think so.
How? I thought that there ain't no way.
Them just realizing how quickly this actually progresses.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah. I mean, a lot happens. If you think about it, like, a lot happens in this series, and we only have 50 episodes.
We're watching 5 more after this, right?
Yeah. I believe 5.
26 to 30?
Yep. 5. Is it?
No.
It's 26 to 30.
We don't get that evolution in the next set.
We don't get it, yeah, okay. But we do get introduced to that character.
Yes,
right,
we do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. It's because it's gonna be the episode where we have 4 episodes, so because that's gonna be a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But backtracking. Yeah, so at least Tintomon's evolution line is consistent.
Yeah.
With being
That's fair, yeah.
So, but yeah,
These are the most consistent, like, starter Digimon forms that we're ever going to see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's Growlmon, Dealmon's evolution line. That's pretty consistent.
Okay, it's consistent up to its ultimate. Then it just gets starting to get wacky, like Metal Greymon.
And then there's
Terriermon's all over the place.
Okay,
too.
actually,
Terriermon's just cute. I'm gonna shoot you. Oh wait, that's in the movie, so we get to see that sooner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We got something. We got a lot of ground. Oh my
god, it's gonna be such a fever trip.
Okay, before we go into the any final thoughts on this episode?
I did have one question.
Go for it.
How does the devolving work when Tintamon was getting sad and he was just devolving?
So he wasn't getting sad, he was devolving because Izzy gave away his heart. And their power is tied to their partner's heart. So him devolving is because his power primarily
Comes
goes off
from
of Izzy's
Izzy.
knowledge, which he gave away,
Yeah.
basically. So,
Okay, gotcha.
That's
This-
like a basic thing in
yeah.
all of Digimon.
yeah, so the more dumb Izzy gets, the weaker Tentamon gets.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because they didn't really properly explain that.
No.
He was just like, oh
Mhm.
no, and then he just started getting smaller and smaller.
I think it gets more implied later on what the the meaning of the crests and like everything that's tied into them and how like that power system
Mhm.
works. But that's something I don't even think that's covered this arc. I think that's covered next arc.
Hmm.
I think that's Dark Masters material. But yeah. Anything else from you guys?
What a
No,
weird fucking episode.
I just like that Vatamon just started throwing planets and shit at him at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
It
Let
was
me try
a
being
trip.
Sephiroth for 5 minutes.
I 100% understand why I forgot this episode exists.
Mhm.
It was great,
It's just-
but
I
like
mean,
that.
it's cool, but it's just so short and nothing really happens.
Yeah.
It's a very uneventful episode.
Yeah. Alright. Before we go on to the last episode that we watched, I want to cover this real quick because we can do this live for the viewers as well.
Mm.
I'm pretty dead set we're gonna watch at least the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. I don't even have to ask that. I was gonna ask, do we want to watch it after this series before O2, but we have to wait till after we watch O2 actually.
Yeah, because it links into O2.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I keep. It's so weird how they handled localizing that.
Yeah, so Digimon, the movie we're talking about is 3 movies jam-packed together for the English dub. So the first movie covers the incident in Odaiba when they were all kids before this series happens. The second movie happens between this series and O2, and then the third movie happens after O2. So it's a filler movie between all 3 series. It covers all range of it. I was thinking like, oh yeah,
Then why not watch them individually?
because there's not a subtitled version for that, or not a dub version for that. There's only a subtitle version for that.
Yeah.
So
We could just stop after our war game part.
yeah, but our war game is tied into the other one.
Oh, right, because fucking Willis.
Yeah, they do
Yep.
a lot of bouncing between the two.
Willis.
Okay.
Yeah. So
God damn it.
I
like
still remember a lot of the scenes in that movie, believe me.
if anything, we can watch the first one, the Odaiba movie, because that one's
Yeah.
not
We'll watch
tied in
that
anything.
one.
We can watch that one. We can do that after we finish this series. And would we have enough to talk about with just that movie for an episode?
Might not, because that section
It's
of it's
pretty
really
short.
short.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
shortest. So
His name is Wallace in the.
So what we
sub?
could do is when we watch the last 5 episodes, we could watch that part of the movie right after that and add that as an extra bit.
Oh, that might
Mhm.
actually work because the last arc of the series is rough.
We'll definitely need a palate
I'm
cleanser.
excited for that. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
excited for
'Cause
the dub.
I forgot actually that because there was an arc after Dark Masters.
Yep.
I completely forgot about it, so
Oh,
that adds up.
God.
So yeah, we can do that. We'll watch those last 5 episodes, and then if we feel like we need more content to talk about, we can watch the movie. If not, we can just watch all 3 of them together after
Yeah.
2. So
That works.
final episode that we watched, Princess Karaoke. This one is where
Please come.
they find Mimi in her perfect little castle where she has turned all the Gekomon and Otamamon into her little helpers by blackmail.
Her
saying-
slaves, yeah.
I hated this one so much.
I love
Don't
this
beat around the bush. They're just straight up her slaves.
Sing a song.
So, fun fact for the subtitle. Mimi's voice actress is actually the singer of the ending theme in the original Japanese.
Oh.
So the song she's singing for her karaoke performance to Wake Up Shogun Gekumon is the ending theme I Wish in the original Japanese.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So of course she does not sing, the English VA does not sing the song for the ending of Digimon Adventures.
Mhm.
So they couldn't translate that. So they made I must sing a song to wake you up instead.
I hated that bit so much.
They kept doing it to him, like,
Over
please
and
make it
over.
stop. Just wake him up.
Yes. So
Stab him with a pin or something. Jesus Christ.
Shogun Gekumon, the ruler of the Otamamon and the Gekumon, has been asleep for thousands of years because he lost a karaoke tournament against somebody and now he's depressed. And the only way to wake him up is to have a beautiful singer make him relive his glory days and sing a song for him. And then Mimi apparently walked in, sang a little bit, and he twitched. And then all the Gekumon are like, "Oh, sing for him more because our master might actually wake up." And they start giving her stuff, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'll just, I don't feel like singing today," and kind of plays on that a lot more until eventually
Exploitation.
This one, there is a lot of changes within the dub versus the sub, but not like in a way I could explain specific scenes out, because it's because of the way they've changed her character, because is pretty materialistic in this episode, but they've also changed what her crest initially is. So her crest in Japanese is purity, and in the English it's sincerity, which are kind of the same but still very different in their own meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of being selfish in these episodes in the subtitle, where in the dub she's being more of a brat, and she's still being selfish, but she's still being, they're playing up the more brat and the more needy part and the more whiny part. So it's like, it's not a specific scene or anything that they've changed as much as it is just like they play up her character a lot more in the dub than they did in the subtitle version.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a fuck off Sora for my notes. Magically.
Again, Sora acting like a god. Wow.
Yep. We'll find out in the next episode whether she actually has a good reason for it. But thankfully I did not end us on that episode, so we don't have to deal with that yet. But yeah, so Sora appears in her bedroom and tells her, like, "You're being a brat! Stop doing that!" And Mimi's just like, "Oh, you're right." And then she goes and apologizes to everybody because she kind of, like, locked everybody up in a cell for telling her off. And she sings and wakes up Shogun Gekumon, and he attacks everybody because he's angry. And Palmon does not evolve. So
I was
Yeah,
so
that
disappointed.
Metal Greymon saves the day.
Yup.
Again.
Ooh.
We get a good old "Hey Digimon" moment. It's fine.
Hey Digimon, hey Digimon.
I just hated how much of a bitch Mimi was in this. Like, she's been so thoughtful the entire series, and then they just did the 360.
Yeah.
It comes out of left field and so jarring.
I like the way it ends off on her though. The way they do play her coming around and everything, because that's when we do kind of see her growth. Like, at least for the dub. For the sub, of course, she still has her growth moment. But for the dub, up until this point, she has just been very materialistic and very whiny. And this is the first time we see her kind of being like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't do this. It's been very selfish of me," kind of thing. So it's the first time we see growth in her as a dub character. For the sub, it's not the first time we see that, but it's still very prevalent. Which, again, Mimi's my favorite character. I'm a little biased on this, and I do hate how she is at the beginning of this episode, but I think the way like she recovers from it means a lot to me, personally. I also wrote the little fisty dance that Tai and Joe and Gomamon and Agumon just all choreograph where they are just pumping their fist in front of their faces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to hear all of them sing as well.
Oh God,
Yeah,
please!
that
I
was
wanted to
that
fucking
was
stab my
great.
ears so bad.
That was really good. My ears were not offended by the things I was hearing. This episode sucked.
The last like 2 episodes were bad, let's be honest.
I want to
Yeah,
know
what's-
how they proposed this to the voice actors for all 4 of them. I'm just like, yeah, we want you to sing this badly. Like do your worst impersonation. Like I want to be in a booth with Joshua Seth and hear this fucking story of how this was proposed to them and who the fuck wrote this song.
No. It was proposed like this. We need you to play Etamon for like 5 minutes.
Oh my god. This was their Edamon audition.
Let's see how good you can channel the Lord of Elvis.
Oh my god.
Now for me, like I had PTSD because I saw Shogun Geckomon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you've played Digimon World 1, you know he's your main way of getting Digivolution items and certain items way early. And it's like, I gotta trade cards with him for hours upon hours.
Yep.
And it's like, I just want to be free of this. Just give me the good shit so I can move on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I was looking at the continuity errors on the wiki page, and it's like, according to an earlier English dub episode, Togemon in Toy Town, Mimi is an awful singer. However, this episode places emphasis on her having a great singing voice. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No shot, I did too.
Wow.
There was something else. What was it?
A note on Digimon names. So of course Geckomon is obvious reference. Otamamon though, I'm not gonna try and pronounce this entire word. I did write it down after looking it up. I have decided I no longer have the balls to try and attempt to say this long ass Japanese word. I'll put it on screen if I decide to edit it. But it's actually a pun because it's a word that means tadpole, but it can also mean music note.
Oh, neat.
So
now I'm curious.
Otamamon evolves into Geckomon, so they're evolution forms, and Geckomon, of course, having the giant trombone thingy attached to them.
I like Otamamon, it's cute.
One of the things I had a gripe on the dub section of this, they don't call Shogun Geckomon his name. They just call him Shogunmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his actual name in Japanese isn't Shogun Geckomon either. So, but it's
really?
Yeah, it's correct. It's still a word that means like master or something, if I remember correctly. But it's a common word that's used in Japanese that is not popular in the US, and Shogun is at least a word that Americanized audiences would still recognize as being kind of like a high leading Japanese figure or something. So I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Onosama Gecko.
Yes.
Huh. That's neat. I didn't know that. I thought his like globalized name was Shogun Geckomon this whole time.
No, that's just the dub one. Which there's a lot of those, and a lot of those are gonna come up. Very popular one is gonna come up very soon.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I have a note for when they walk into the castle, and of course all the Geckomon and Otamamon are being like, oh, we need to find this food, or we need to find this dress, or whatever that she wants. She walks down the stairs, and she's like, oh, is my food here yet? And then she sees Ty and Joe, and she's like, oh, bummer. I'm like, damn. Get fucked.
That was savage.
I do love Mimi. I remember this episode very vividly. I still cannot get over like that last episode at all. And I know what the next episode is, and I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe
because
maybe
it's centered around Sora and
Yep.
her ninja shenanigans.
yeah, we
What
get
a
the
fantastic series of episodes we
Yo.
watched.
we get a great explanation for Sora's reasoning for all her stuff.
I'm sure we do.
Yep, it's great. It's amazing. It's so impactful. Makes her such a great character. Makes up for everything.
I'm so excited.
Well, I'm starting to understand your dislike of Sora little by little now after rewatching this.
I'll trust me. I told this to Keja. The next episode is the culmination of why I initially hated her. Because this entire next episode is why I hated her as a kid, and has persisted as to why I've hated her since then. But it's as I've grown, I've seen more things that I didn't notice as a child, and then of course watching the original subtitled at one point and seeing how much her character was different there and much worse. My hatred has grown because literally there's nothing good about her. But next episode is the start of it all. So,
Hell yeah.
which is why I did not make it the last episode for this batch, because if we ended on that, I would much rather start on
Cyan
it.
would be ranting for a while.
It's not even that. I would be in such a bad mood for this entire week after we watch, where I'm like, can we just record so I can talk about it and get it over with? Because I want to forget about this episode.
Damn.
It's the last thing to end on. It's horrible. Like no other anime can make up for this. Please. Alright. Any last notes on these episodes?
No, not really.
Alright, what's everybody's favorite evolution or Digimon that appeared in this episode then?
Man, it hasn't appeared yet. I want Pokemon's evolution so bad.
Alright, what's your favorite that has appeared?
I'd have to say Garurumon because it's the best design out of all the episodes.
Garurumon.
Yeah. Keja, what's yours?
If it's just counting these episodes,
Just these episodes.
I don't think where Garurumon left that much of an impression on me, man. I'll just say Togemon. I love Togemon so much.
Togemon is great.
I'm sad I haven't seen the proper full evolution, but I love it. I love them so much.
I will say you're going to love their next evolution.
Oh
yeah.
Her next evolution
is why I always pick Palmon as a starter.
And
I love Palmon's line so fucking much.
The fact that they didn't do it here, I like, because I remember very vividly where her evolution takes place, and it's such a good scene. It's so cute, and it's such a good moment for Mimi. So I think it's a good bonding moment between them. I think you're gonna like it, but I think you're gonna love the design for it. So
yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna feel about Gomamons.
Yeah, this is a little weird.
I love it, but that's
the design. It just comes out of nowhere.
I like it because I like mythology. So,
you know, rewatching this, I'm seeing all the stuff in Digimon Survive they reference now.
Yep.
Because I'm seeing bits and pieces of each parts of these arc in that game now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our next episode, our next batches of episodes are going to be episodes 26 through 30. 5 episodes. Easy watch. I think for us, I don't think, aside from the episode 26, which is going to piss me off, I think the rest of them are going to be fine. Keja, where can they find you in the meantime?
I stream on Twitch at KJames13, and I'm on Twitter under the same name.
Kain, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch.com at punished_Kain.
And Zeta, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok through Zeta Sapphire, all one word.
Alright. And I am Cyan Kincaid on Twitter and Twitch. And you can find any information regarding this podcast or the other podcast I run with Shio at RiceCon Podcast on Twitter. these episodes are uploaded on the same YouTube as Rice Ball Conflict, and they have their own Spotify page. So if you want to change whatever platform you're checking this out on, go check us out on there. Give us a like, a follow, a subscription. Tell your friends. Give us a retweet. Just whatever, to help us out. Bye. I think that's
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know if I forgot anything. Oh well.